What's up, everybody? It's your boy Jay back in the house. Do a prediction this time. This weekend's fights are really stacked to death. In fact, there's really so many. It's really hard to kind of talk about them all. But I really want to, if I had to, pick one out of the hat, I really actually want to talk about this fight. This fight actually stands out a lot to me between Erislandy Lara and Austin Trout. Up front, I want to say this about both fighters. Both of these fighters will give anybody they fight an extremely tough fight. It doesn't really matter who they fight, and the proof is in the pudding. You could go back and visit their track records and watch all their fights. They always come to fight, and they always will challenge their opponent. Always. So I take my hat off to both these fighters, man. These are two highly skilled ring technicians. Both of them are southpaws. It's going to be an interesting fight, man. Very interesting, intriguing fight. I'll have to say this is almost pretty much damn near close to a 50-50 fight. I want to say it's really a really just a pick'em fight. You kind of just throw two names in the hat and pick one out, and you could pretty much say that's who you want. In that case, if you want to do it like that. But let's talk about Austin Trout first. Austin Trout is coming off a loss to Saul Canelo Alvarez. I believe that was sometime back in April around there. At that time, he was a champ because he had just beat Cotto. And the fight with Canelo was a unification bout. Let's talk about that fight. Austin Trout in that fight, I believe there's a lot of speculation that Austin Trout had won that fight. I would not argue with anybody if they thought Austin Trout won that fight. I would not argue with anybody if they thought Canelo won that fight. At the end of the day, it was a very close fight. It was much closer than what the judges had it. But Austin Trout is a very slick, high-volume southpaw. Likes to work his jab a lot to set up his combinations. He's not, the biggest power puncher in the world, but he is a very good boxer with a unique style. Very briefly, let's talk about Erislandy Lara. Erislandy Lara is coming off a win off Alfredo Angulo. In that fight, he actually got knocked down for the very first time in his career. Not once, but twice. I think that if that fight would have went the distance, I could see Angulo edging that fight out. It was getting pretty close to the 12 rounds. If the fight would have stayed the same the way how it was, with no huge adjustments from Lara, I think Angulo would have edged the fight out on the scorecards. But I kind of want to break down the attributes of these fighters because I think this is a very competitive fight. I'm going to start off with the heart and the chin. Both of these fighters actually, to me, are pretty equal in heart and chin. When Austin Trout got knocked down by Canelo, he actually got back up pretty quick. And that was the first time he got knocked down in his career. He was able to, pretty much still hang in there with Canelo. And there's a lot of talk that some people say that Austin Trout actually won that 7th round against Canelo. It was a very tough round to score. I thought it was just really that damn close. Austin Trout bounced back up, man, and he kept fighting back, man. Like, he wouldn't give up. I think Austin and his chin. I mean, yeah, he took one big shot from Canelo and caught him off guard, but I'll have to say his chin is he still has a pretty good solid chin to me. Same thing with Erislandy Lara. He got knocked down by Angulo. First time I believe was on the inside, and then the second time Lara was trying to land like seemed like a combination, and he kept moving side to side, and eventually Angulo figured that out, and Angulo was able to capitalize that. I think it was a left hook, and he caught him with the hook as he was moving to the side, and he dropped him down. And then what surprised me about Lara is when he got up and didn't really get on his bicycle. He stood toe to toe with this dude, and he kept bringing the heat to Angulo. So I got to say that both these guys are pretty equal in heart and chin. I will not argue if anybody thinks that Austin Trout has a better chin than Erislandy Lara. Simply because, Austin Trout's only been knocked down once and Erislandy Lara has been knocked down twice. But pretty much moving on. Let's go ahead and go to power. I'm going to have to give the edge in power to Erislandy Lara. His punches are a little bit more crisp. Austin Trout's punches, he's a very good high volume puncher, like I said earlier, but I feel that if he lacks a little bit of sharpness and just very good crispness in his punches. I think if Austin Trout had much greater power, I think he would have beat Canelo pretty convincingly if he had power. Same thing with Timothy Bradley. If Timothy Bradley had very good power, I would have picked him to probably beat Pacquiao and some of those other big name fighters. But I give the edge in power to Erislandy Lara. Next is, I want to say, inside fighting game. I definitely give the edge in inside fighting game to Austin Trout. And I would have to say that Erislandy Lara's vulnerability or weakness comes to when he's on the inside. We saw this with Paul Williams. Saw this with Paul Williams a lot, actually, but actually I want to say more with Alfredo Angulo. When Angulo was working Erislandy Lara on the inside, he was able to land numerous combinations. And on top of that, Angulo was able to land body shots, which I also think Erislandy Lara is a little bit vulnerable to his body shots. Austin Trout is just, I think he has a little bit more tools in the toolbox. He has more, definite reach. He's able to use the footwork a little bit. I mean, they both have pretty good footwork. That one's another tough one to call. I think some moments that Erislandy Lara can be kind of flat-footed, but that the footwork is it's another tough one to call. But other than that, man, it's a very competitive fight, man. Very competitive fight as far as attributes. One big issue being that this fight is very competitive. I think it's all really going to boil down to, between these two fighters, first off, it's going to be a very high caliber chess match. And on top of that, I think it's really going to boil down to which fighter can inflict more damage first. Whoever could, use their technical abilities to edge out the power in their shots, I think it's going to be the one that's going to be, with their hand raised at the end of the night. Austin Trout, a very good fighter, but doesn't have the kind of power to leave you dazed and confused. Erislandy Lara has, obviously, better power, like I said earlier. I think the huge difference maker is it all really is going to. Another thing, it's really just going to boil down to how the judges are going to see. If Austin Trout can actually work his jab, get on the inside against Erislandy Lara, land combinations, and move. And actually, I want to see a little bit more head movement from Austin Trout in this fight. I noticed he wasn't utilizing that much head movement against Canelo. and you could clearly saw in that 7th round he wasn't moving his head enough, and he got caught by Canelo's right jab, and that's what sent him to the ground. So I believe if Austin Trout can make this an inside fighting game the whole entire night, I believe it will look really good to the judges, and I think that will be another difference maker if Austin Trout could just get this on the inside, because we haven't really seen too much from Erislandy Lara when he fights on the inside. So, if Erislandy Lara could be very accurate with his punches, because, like I said, he has a little bit more crisp in his punches, I believe that will influence the judges. You know, judging in boxing nowadays is crazy, man. It's really crazy. So that's another reason. That's another factor I'm taking into consideration in this fight is the judging aspect. I think this fight's going to go the distance. I feel. I don't believe there's going to be a knockdown, but I see this fight going the distance. So it's really going to be a high caliber chess match. Who could land the better power shots first, do the more damage, influence the judges better, work their technical abilities to the best of their knowledge. It's going to be interesting. Both of them being southpaws, the left hooks are going to be neutralized, so they're going to have to bring all their tools to this fight. It's so tough to call, man, but I'm going to have to go with Erislandy Lara on this fight. I think Erislandy Lara is going to edge it out on a very tight split decision. So, somewhere maybe within like about 3 or 4 points. I see it like that. I could see maybe one judge giving it to Austin Trout, but I could see the other 2 judges giving the edge to Erislandy Lara, man. I think Austin Trout has a little bit more tools in his arsenal, but I just feel like there's going to be some fucked up shit with the judging that night, and I believe that Lara's crispness of his shots is what's going to give the nod to the judges in this fight. But I expect this fight to be close. I'm going to be rooting for Austin Trout. I like Austin Trout. Whoever wins this fight is going to go on to way bigger and better things. There's going to be tons of doors open for whoever wins this fight. Whoever loses this fight, man, it's going to take a real long time for them to get a title shot, man. So this is a very very important fight for both of these men right here, man. A very important fight for both of these fighters. They might even talk about landing a Floyd Mayweather fight. We'll see. But you guys let me know what you think of this high caliber chess match fight. I'm taking Erislandy Lara to win by a very tight split decision. But I'm just going to say, man, may the best man win. And I'll catch you guys on the post-fight. And yeah, this weekend's fights, man, are really, really stacked to death. I really can't wait. And then the week after that, we got Broner and Maidana. I think we got Sean Porter and Devin Alexander. I'm going to take Devin Alexander in that fight. You got Rigondeaux, Agbeko. Definitely going to go with Rigondeaux in that fight. Felix Strum, Darren Barker. That'll be an excellent fight. I can't really call that fight. Got James Kirkland coming back versus Glenn Tapia. That'll be interesting. He's going to be, he's with SMS Promotion, so we're going to see how his career develops and progresses and all that good stuff. So, yeah, but either way, I think it's going to be a really good night of fights. So I'm going to catch you guys on the post-fight video. Peace out.